you put in your resignation statement concerning Mr. Coulson and the comparison between Mr. Wallace and Mr. Coulson in respect of your employment of Mr. Wallace, and we will explore with Mr. Fedocchio later what happened concerning that matter. But specifically, you make reference, and this has excited a lot of interest, between what you did and the employment of Mr. Coulson by the Prime Minister. And it seemed to be that you may have been taking a bit of a swipe at the Prime Minister, bearing in mind the fact that you said that the Prime Minister had employed somebody who had resigned, but Mr. Wallace had not resigned as a result of the News of the World. So this has excited a lot of comment, that here you were resigning and there was the Prime Minister just carrying on. Were you upset at the fact that you were treated differently, or you appear to have been treated differently?
Chair, we always live in a world where the media speculate and interpret, and this has been a particularly febrile time. I was taking no such swipe at the Prime Minister. I was trying to just make something absolutely clear. Sorry, sir? Yeah. I was trying to make something absolutely clear. And that was, and I do agree with the Prime Minister when he says this was entirely different. Of course the employment of Mr. Coulson and the employment by the Met of Mr. Wallace was entirely different. And can I just correct an inaccuracy here? Mr. Wallace was never employed to be my personal assistant or provide personal advice to me, and I know we'll go into this later. He was employed, it was a very minor matter, he was employed to provide advice to the head of DPA, you've seen later on, and through that he would give me some occasional advice, a very part-time minor role. That's one of the reasons it was different than Mr. Coulson, and it certainly wasn't a public-facing role. But what I was trying to get across was simply this. When Mr. Coulson resigned, and at that time he said he resigned, and time will tell, to do the honourable thing and actually, if you will, be the leader and take responsibility, by definition, he associated his name with hacking. That's just simply and blindingly obvious. I was trying to draw the contrast that I had no reason to doubt Mr. Wallace's integrity. I had no reason to link him at all with hacking. I had no reason until, and we'll come on to this, in January 2011, when I first saw his name in the public domain, to associate his name and hacking together.
Indeed.
That is the difference. I meant to impugn the Prime Minister or no one by it. I was just trying to give an example that Mr. Wallace, his name, never ever came into hacking.